What is going on, everybody? Pastor Eric here from King of Kings. Welcome to Beyond Sunday. These are videos that are designed to help equip you to follow Jesus beyond Sunday. And there's a fly that is clearly very interested in following Jesus beyond Sunday because he keeps wanting to land on the camera lens. So we'll see how this goes. But in this week's message on Sunday, we talked about Jesus calling the first disciples and calling us to fish for people. Now, as Lutherans in America, we aren't exactly known for our evangelistic prowess. In fact, our presiding bishop, Elizabeth Eaton, is fond of saying that Lutherans hold the name of Jesus so sacred, we can barely make it pass across our lips. Now, of course, that isn't really what holds us back from sharing our faith. I think it's a combination of not wanting to impose our beliefs on others and also not wanting, there we go, I think he's gone now, and also not maybe being sure of how to articulate the difference that Jesus makes in our lives. We know that Jesus makes a difference, and we're just not always able to share what that difference is with others and maybe even name it for ourselves. And I do think that's all something that's something we can all work on, but I don't think it actually needs to stop you from answering Jesus's call to fish for people, from investing the difference that Jesus makes in your life into others, because Jesus is going to make that difference. And so we can invest it even if we don't always know what it is. Here's what I mean. One thing I've come to realize about our culture is that there are so few people who know how to make, be, and keep friends. It's like we graduate high school or college, we get married, we have kids, we get jobs, and we become so invested in our close circle of relationships, our nuclear family relationships, maybe a couple really close people outside of that, that we let slip the extended network of relationships, and we sort of lose the ability to get it back. I think friendship is a vastly untapped mission field for sharing faith and being fishers of people. Sunday's message raised the question, if Jesus told you to go fish for people, where would you start? I think for most of us, the best place to start is either in our existing friend or even our acquaintance groups if we don't have a wide network of friends. It might be in our neighborhood, it might be in our schools or places of employment or a variety of other places that we spend our time. And the mistake I think a lot of Christians make is that we assume that most people in our networks of relationships, whatever those networks are, have thriving faith or go to church. I would argue that many, if not most, don't. And so in those relationships, wherever you spend your time and energy and the people you spend it with, don't worry about what you should say. Don't worry about not knowing the answers to questions. Don't worry about being weird. Just show up. Just show up with the love of Christ. Pray for those people that you're in relationships, those acquaintances or those friends. Find intentional ways to spend time with them. Listen to their complaints, because behind every complaint is a confession that in some way, shape, or form, life is not turning out the way they had hoped. And it's okay to not know what you're doing, because as we talked about on Sunday, when you are weak or unsure, it makes space for Jesus to work and to show up and do his thing. And you'll see breakthrough over time in ways that you could not have planned. So really just showing up, even if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, and Jesus will take care of the rest. So here's the challenge for this week. Think about those friend groups or those acquaintance groups that you're in that maybe aren't connected to church or faith. And then pray for opportunities to be Jesus with those folks, to love them, to serve them, to listen to them. And as you provoke life in those relationships, as you provoke a response, because you're being intentional in ways that nobody else is being intentional in their lives, you're actually incarnating Jesus into the context of that relationship. I think you'll see breakthrough. So pray for opportunities to be Jesus with those folks. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.